Welcome back to the LCS for Game 2 of the day, where Team Liquid are going to face off against 100 Thieves. And I'm definitely wondering how they will stack up against one of our top teams in 100 Thieves. However, that said, 100 Thieves most recently taking a few hits, 1-3 in their last 4. Meanwhile, TL looks to maybe find some consistency finally, with Alfari remaining in the lineup.
TL is consistent in that they only beat teams lower than them in the standings. So
Hey, that's a point of consistency. Meanwhile, 100 Thieves is throwing away upsets.
Exactly. So if 100 Thieves can prove that they're no longer a top team and be like, all right, we're actually middle of the pack right now.
Hopefully that's not what they're trying to prove here, Crumbs.
Well, that's what TL wants, because they clearly struggle.
TL is trying to prove. 100 Thieves. All right, boys, let's gather up. We're going to go out there today. We were looking for mediocrity.
Love it.
No big CS advantages. Don't be first to the objectives. All right, 100 Thieves on 3.
At closer, don't you dare gang.
Right. But what about Alfari's return? Again, it's kind of been like intermittent. He came back for a day, got subbed out, but he cheekily tweeted out last night that he survived the Friday and he's back in on Saturday. Signs pointing to good here. Is TL even going to return to Spring Split form at least?
I think they will.
Okay.
Look, they've had so much change, between Jat stepping down and then Armeo and Santorin swap and then Alfari and Jenkins swap. I think now that they have Alfari back into the mix, they can focus on what I think made them so good last split, which is getting lanes advantages through top. And Jensen even talked about in his interview, hey, we're just going to focus on top because Alfari is one of the best laners in the league. Yeah, it'll take a little while to get on that page because they've had to shift their style around. When they're playing with Jenkins, they were not playing a top-focused style at all. But I think over the next 3 weeks, TL fans are going to be able to see this team start to reestablish itself as a top team.
I mean, it's interesting. Like, I definitely think there is time for that to happen. I don't think it will happen because I also think that TL's level in spring is a high bar, right? They were 1 game away from being champions. So if that is your bar, it's going to finals, having an extremely competitive series, and that's even with a sub. So it's like, to me, the fact that they've actually lost Santorin, Armeo, I think he has played well. I don't think he is as good as Santorin. And to me, a lot of the dominance in spring was about Alfari and Santorin working that well together. And I just think it's tough when you've had this much drama surrounding a team to play at that highest level and to kind of like drown out all the noise.
So that's interesting that you think that's not the case, right? Because when we look at the rest of the league, besides 100 Thieves, no one looks that scary.
FlyQuest Academy.
FlyQuest. Okay.
FlyQuest.
No way.
EG's won 8 of their last 9.
And they lost.
FlyQuest, they lost 1 game in their last 9. FlyQuest has won 4 in a row. Golden Guardians is 3 out of their last 4. It's like, and you also still have the other teams that are expected performers like TSM and C9. So I'm not saying that TL is going to be a bad team. I'm not saying they're not going to be playoffs. But if I'm setting the bar at spring, that is making it to the finals and almost winning or winning. And I don't think they're going to get there.
I just want to give Crumbs an opportunity.
Yeah, I also think the fact that we just saw Alfari have a great win yesterday, but it was against CLG. Look at what C9 just did to them today. That game should not count as something that we can use. Like,
they're dunking on preschoolers.
Exactly. No joke. That seems to be what's happening. So they also struggled with Alfari last week, right?
Sorry,
there was a lot. There was a lot of
sorry.
misplays around the Rift Herald as a team.
It must be rough. It must be rough.
Like, TL has so much to work on that just adding Alfari is not going to miraculously solve your game, because you're not going to get such a crazy advantage from the laning phase against all these teams.
Okay, hold.
Final point.
So
Final
besides the dunking on CLG, which I'm going to ignore for now, all right? So the question is TL going to get that to that level by the end of the split? And yeah, I agree with you. Right now, EG is probably the better team, right? But when we talk about over 3 weeks, do we think EG is going to fix their consistent throwing late game? Do we think that they're going to have a more consistent early game so to be able to run over a team like TL that has one of the best top laners in the league? Do we think that FlyQuest is going to maintain the level that they have right now? I think it's less likely. So when I look at teams like C9, yeah, okay, I think C9 is going to hit form by the time playoffs come around. But I think TL is right up in that conversation for top 3.
I mean, it's interesting, right? Because the way I look at a proposition like that is I think 100 Thieves is for sure better, and then you're basically giving me the field versus TL, right? Because to me, it's like you've got to make finals. And I will take the field here for sure, because you're giving me, GG, Fly, EG, TSM, and C9.
Well, I want to continue this conversation, but jump on the point you just made about 100 Thieves, which is that you still look at them kind of above the rest. And I did have the curiosity coming in today, given the fact that they're 1-3 in their last 4, coming off of one of the best win streaks prior to that in the split, and looking very much like the best team. They went from a middling team to this is a title contender, if not a favorite for the championship. A lot of us saying top 3, not making it would be a failure and a disappointment. Where are we now? Are they still top dog? Is the expectation that they really are that far ahead? And if not, how can they regain our confidence in a game like they have today?
I lost a lot of confidence in 100 Thieves, and I think partially was their strength, which was a lot of experimentation with the draft that initially was on the right track. The Karma, the Akalis for Abidage were super relevant to the meta. As it's continued to shift, they continue to try to innovate, being the leaders of the pack. They faltered. Now they're losing games against teams that are trying to outdraft them. Yesterday's loss against Dig was a stomp.
Take a look at these stats, too. This is comparing weeks 1 through 5 of the split to weeks 6 and the first game of week 7. Again, talking about that downturn for 100 Thieves, kind of across the board, you see the stats taking a severe tank.
Yeah. So when I look at this and I look at the drop-off in performance, I think it's actually a byproduct of experimentation, right?
Yeah.
When we look at the game that they lost against GG, they were drafting Yasuo into Lucian. You know, I could see the theory for why that was something that was an attractive option for them. But I can also see it's a hard draft to run, right? And you're going to lose some of those games. So when I think of 100 Thieves, I think of a team that has so many different styles. They don't need to hone in on anything in particular yet. And I think by the time playoffs come around, once they figured out, okay, we have a few set styles that we know really work for us, they're just going to lock that in, and they're going to look like one of the best teams again.
I think that really just colors how the earlier wins were also a product of the fact that they had a really strong meta read at the start, and now suddenly they don't.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to be, on form come playoffs. I agree with Kaizen. I think it's experimentation. We saw Tom Kench, the new Tom Kench with Aphelios. I don't think it's a good defensive pairing with it, but I think they're going to be back to their winning ways here soon.
Well, 2 of our top teams, without a doubt, looking to compete and make the case for being the ultimate top dog as we move towards the postseason picture. From here, we're going back out to the arena for the call on TL versus 100 Thieves.
Thank you very much, and welcome back to the show. This is going to be a really exciting battle, honestly. What's up, Kobe? I like the clap finger guns.
I knew you would.
Yeah.
Freaks, you're a fan of any sort of extra mana.
I'm easily distracted and entertained. I'm still childlike in my wonder about the world.
Yeah, that's definitely for sure.
Yeah.
You're definitely still childlike.
Set up on a tee for you, Kobe. You hit it.
Small update on the tallest player in the LCS, because I was just backstage with Team Liquid while they're getting ready. Alfari's like, are you kidding me? Sven is no competition for tallest in the LCS.
Okay.
Maybe Fudge, though.
Okay.
So we need a back-to-back with Fudge and Alfari to really determine who is the tallest.
Well, then they got to both make it to the LCS Championship in a couple of weeks, go to New Jersey. If we can just put him up there as the promo. I can see him in real life adjacent.
We can get some American Gladiator style course
great.
for them to as well.
That sounds absolutely wonderful. So here we go. Team Liquid and 100 Thieves, 2 of the toppest dogs in the LCS. I made it up. I love it too.
There is definitely nobody on 100 Thieves that's even close to as tall as him.
No, that's true.
The height diff is here.
That's true. That's true. But 100 Thieves, they are still the #1 team in the regular season right now, even carrying over a lackluster record from spring. They have been by far the most dominant team across the summer split and are still holding on to the #1 spot. TL on the other side, though, it has been somewhat shaky, only 2 games behind, though, right now. And now that they have locked in, okay, for sure, it's Alfari every game. No sign of Santorin coming back anytime soon. This is their starting 5 for probably the rest of the year is my bet.
Yeah.
Let's see now how much they can get done with a dominant top side, because they've got it here.
And it makes a lot of sense to me, because when you're rotating out different players, especially for a top lane that you can have wildly different play styles and it requires the team to play differently, it's going to split your practice time. You kind of have to do overtime to really get to that same level. And approaching the end of the season, you really do need to focus on these small improvements. If you're looking also at just the most recent game scores, while 100 Thieves is still at the top of the league, in the last 4 games, they have dropped 3 of them. Yes, they have had pretty strong competitors, Evil Geniuses, TSM, types of things going on here. It has looked a little bit, people have been a little bit more cautious. I still think the confidence is there. I'm certainly very confident in Lee Sin currently as one of the extremely powerful jungle picks. The timer there going down to the very last second before he finally locks it in. But I just really feel like there's so many possibilities here to get aggressive early on. And especially since Diana is the default for most teams, you have some leeway and some windows here in the early game. Team Liquid with the early lock in there for Diana, you know, looking across. You still have things like the Lucian up to try and play off of differing damage types and lane prio. So we'll see. 100 Thieves have a lot of play-making ability locked in very quickly here.
Yep.
Varus, one of the rare ones from bottom lane 2 for FBI, to be able to have some lane priority as well as some CC setup.
Yeah, could have Huhi reprise his Tom Kench role as well. You know, long-standing lane of Varus Tom Kench. Obviously, Devour now on the ultimate makes it different, but still played it last time. Didn't quite win, but you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Lucian, Renekton coming across. As we, of course, what would you expect when you have Diana jungle? You're looking at AD soul lanes. There you go. Renekton top, Lucian mid. And regardless of matchup, right? They're like, look, we're blinding both of these. Lee Sin is likely a jungler. Play what you want. We're winning these lanes anyway.
Yeah, Alphari plus Armero on Renekton plus Diana is a 2v2 that is extremely scary, especially since last game around, we just saw Team Liquid play so incredibly hard to the top side, probably harder than we've seen any team this split, definitely, maybe even in multiple splits, play to the top side of the map with Core JJ basically camping up there for the first 10 minutes of the game and not willing to back down. So Team Liquid already showed with Alphari as the primary starter, they're very willing to spend so many resources up there. And when you lock in an early Renekton, definitely could be the case. Meanwhile, I love it. Abbedagge grabs the LeBlanc, throwing down there with Jensen in the mid lane versus Lucian. This LeBlanc plus Lee Sin, I still want to see it combine. For when we keep talking up of the early playmaking abilities, LeBlanc just dash in, get the chain, set up the Lee Sin to land the guaranteed Qs and combine for early lane pressure towards mid jungle that then gets to roam to those side lanes and affect the other matchups.
All right, Nautilus off the board. Dr. Mundo banned as a very common answer to Renekton. I don't say necessarily counter, but a strong answer. You can withstand the lane and then really outscale.
Yeah.
Exactly. Outscaling is an appreciated skill in League of Legends. Just take the 5 CS deficit in lane and then just win in team fights. But definitely a strong one. Good to see players who can do that. Aphelios off the table as they didn't put in a Thresh ban instead. Just no. Just get rid of the hyperscalers down there. Or other good late game options if you want them, but no Aphelios this time around. Leona also kicked off. 100 Thieves get first dibs on a support, but they also know their matchups. Tom Kench, I really do like as a top laner, by the way. I think he's pretty good into Renekton.
He's very good into so many melee matchups actually, just because he's so beefy now with the Q damage, with the trading ability that he currently has, and honestly has good setups for junglers too. If you can, you know, slip into the lane brush over and over. Not gonna be the case here though, as the Thresh is picked up here in conjunction with the Varus. That's why they didn't ban it out. They just banned out the Aphelios from the side for Team Liquid because Huhi wants his hands on it.
I think there's a zigzangle here. Probably not going for it. Looks like Xayah may indeed be locked in and is. Certainly, okay, could put the Rakan alongside as well, sure. Obviously, you can dodge away the hooks and whatnot, but you're not dodging the biggest things. Like, this is not the most dire need for a Xayah. You're not against like a Hecarim or a Malphite or something where you can really block a huge spell with the Feather Storm, but this does give you pretty good early dueling. The 2-on-2 can be solid. And obviously, Xayah can put out really, really good damage against slow melee compositions. So now, Someday, what champ are you on? Goes Ornn for the raw teamfight. Actually gives Xayah a decent spell to dodge, but does give good teamfight power, as now you've got some engage tools in the top lane.
Yeah, I like this. You know, via the Mundo ban, trying to ban away some of the outscale, some of the defensive play on top, because Team Liquid really want to press that to the maximum. Someday still goes with, okay, another tank option for top side. Outscale is going to be able to upgrade items for teammates later, and as you mentioned, very good for team fight. Actually makes it very difficult sometimes for Diana and Renekton to play those team fights later, as the melee all-in that they are. I, though, am a super big fan of Tactical Core JJ, Xayah Rakan, as always. They play it very aggressively in lane, and that's what I like to see with the Lovers duo.
Alrighty, Team Liquid. Aggression in a lot of places. Bot 2-on-2 can look good. They got full counter pick on that lane. Renekton and Lucian highly prized for their lane dominance as well. So TL want to get out to the races. They are up against 100 Thieves, though, the strongest team record-wise in the LCS. Welcome back to Summoner's Rift. Team Liquid and 100 Thieves are doing battle today. 100 Thieves looking to break a loss streak. TL, the only team not to be upset yesterday, at least based on standings. Can that streak continue? Abadaga says, today we back. That is not proper grammar, by the way, but I'll forgive you.
The desk was asking, who's the top dog? It's Abadaga.
Yes.
There you go, freak. Right into it. He's into the side lane brush, too. Nothing really going to come of this except a little bit of early intel. You can see Armeo walking around through the river. Maybe they get some collapse here.
Knows where closer is.
They're calling someday over. I want to see.
Jensen's gonna find him though. Okay, a little bit of damage with Diana, but yeah, they're jumping out of this one. There's no way to finish the kill. There's not enough CC on the TL side, but it does mean they get to walk in aggressively. Closer should have spotted that trinket ward. Knows that if he starts red, that is information given away. Can get off that in time for a second camp, but we'll see how that one turns up over time. If you want to watch Ornn in lane though, you got a free ProView matchup, top lane. Alfari has been top diffing most of the league every year he plays, in every league he plays. Now up against Someday.
And last time around, if you were watching top lane ProView, you would have seen a lot of the support of the jungle of the mid lane from Team Liquid too, as there were so many roams up there. I don't know if they actually want to try and commit as many resources this time around, because unless you successfully actually get the dive off on Ornn and can deny the minion waves and can really pressure that tower, it's gonna be kind of working against a wall up there. Someday's goal right now, not lose much health. You see he's gone with the Doran Shield potion here, so should be able to survive. No problem. Continue building his items in lane, not giving up much health, while Closer goes for the quick transition. There was a ward on his red, plus by both jungle entrances, but he just hops over the back of the Baron pit instead to go for the steal away on the blue here, taking away some of Diana's route, upsetting the full clear trade.
Yeah, pretty smart right now. They'd expect he's just going towards Krug's topside. Huge damage to Core JJ. Exhaust does absolutely nothing, though. Might have wished to get Ignite.
Alfari found that the Krugs are still there, so Team Liquid should...
Oh, damage, though. Alfari has flash, but will not get to burn it. And first blood already topside.
It's so smart by Closer because, you know, jumping over the back of the pit is the only area that isn't warded with the other three used and stealing away blue. Alfari on Renekton, you push up always on this wave. You try and go check enemy camp. They find that Krugs is not there. They think that he's just skipped over the other way, and with the Lee Sin, those windows, freak, we're talking about in the early game to try and take advantage of early playmaking.
Yep.
It does work out for him, and you still have not sacrificed a tremendous amount. Yes, your Raptors get counter jungled there. I think it's well done by Armeo. Now they actually don't want to let it just stop at the Raptor counter jungle. They want to push Someday off the wave as well.
Closer knows to be afraid. Knew his Raptors were gone, so he's like, Armeo's topside, looks for a brush. Now he's going to be in a 2v3. Someday, how long can he live? TP comes in early, but the burst damage is too much. Jensen finds himself the kill, but how about the rest? Abadaga cannot get much more than the chain. He's got to be careful, jumps back. Lee Sin Q's not going to get much more. Goodbye, Jensen, to stand up and tank that, so Armeo could not be attacked. A safe TP now to come through for Ornn. A fast trade of kills between these teams.
Beautiful stun there with the Renekton empowered, extra rage coming through. They get the kill off, so Someday does not W it. He cannot get his charge off. He cannot survive to use his flash. No, nothing. That was surgical, and it needed to be. 100 Thieves had defenses in place. If Someday is able to W the stun,
he does, but
he did yeah, I guess it was a little early though.
No, this is how that works.
Oh, yeah. He got it off, but still unable to get the charge off afterwards or flash or anything because in the animation. So well done by Team Liquid to finish off the dive there before the defenses get in place.
Yeah, for those who don't know the mechanic, like, you are unstoppable during Orn W, that is true, but you don't, it's not a cleanse.
You can't do anything else.
Well, yeah, but it's also not a cleanse. Like, if you're stunned, you're still stunned. Like, nothing changes. You're immune to Lee Sin kick, you're immune to, you know, moving because of fears, but you are still stunned, and when you finish the W, you are still stunned, and you can no longer charge into the wall until that stun wears off. Again, it's not a cleanse, it's not Olaf ult or anything like that, so functionally it's no different. Except for immuning some kind of knockback.
Except for, yeah, so instead of being stunned and not doing anything, you're stunned and doing your W.
Right, you know, like casting Ezreal ult when a hook's coming at you and things like that, right? Yeah. Like, it is good to get something done, that's why players do it, but yeah, it is not going to prevent the stun from happening in the first place. And so that's why, yeah, the boy can't dash into a wall, and it's a very good dive by Team Liquid, well coordinated by Alfari, Armeo, and Jensen. 1-1 on the scoreboard, 400 gold lead to Team Liquid, as Diana is up about 2 camps on closer. The mid laners trading back and forth, but a huge lead to Jensen in that lane as the bot lanes keep fighting and looking pretty good for who he's landed several great hooks and flays on a core JJ. End of the day, 10 CS lead for FBI as a result.
Yeah, I guess I'm just not used to stuns lasting longer than the W.
Renekton W lasts real long.
It's like, wow, he's still stunned. That's why Renekton is such a good laner to dive with.
I think it's 2.25. It's really long.
You know what? That is a super long one. On the bottom side, JJ. He sets him up for the root.
Early Summoner Heal by FBI, expected to be ignited and didn't want to lose all the credit. Oh my word, the damage! Core couldn't even flash it. Just got shot down in the back. 100 Thieves get a 2-on-2 kill. There's the stun. They finally autos him back. These top laners still fighting as well. 15 CS lead to Alfari. And here come the reinforcements. Armeo, thankfully for 100 Thieves, he's hatching a ward. They gotta win this one. Level 6 Ornn is hard to kill, but maybe they can kind of sequester closer, has to ward hop, or gets minion hop away. Jensen now here as well, also on a ward, but it does mean Someday gets the wave, and it's gonna be Alfari getting a very easy recall if he wants it here.
Team Liquid are a top lane team with Alfari in as permanent top laner, Freak. Trying to zone out closer to avoid him from helping out Someday, who is now level 6 and still has Flash. When Ornn has level 6 and Flash, it makes it very easy to try and avoid people interrupting your second activation. You can flash over to your ultimate to make sure you can try and get the stun part off of it, and that dive gets very risky. It gets a little bit dirty there for Team Liquid, so they don't go for the dive. They actually just take away the jungle resources here at no cost to them.
Well, they denied, I think, the back half of Krugs, the valuable part of Krugs. They also had to leave the camp as Diana showed up. Both supports walked up. Mid lane got kind of left alone for a little while as both of those guys went over as well. And the gold lead remains about 200. Someday the XP lead because the mid laners are leaving and Diana keeps sharing Renekton's XP. So, you know, some days at least afloat up there as the bot lane still feels decent. Early serrated dirt comes under FBI plus a tier. That is a beautiful recall on a Varus. That feels amazing. So those are great components. See if that can have even more happen now if Thieves can find some more lethal damage.
Yeah, he just gets to keep on spamming out the harassment. You see Wildcard JJ roaming up through the river to get the vision. Just trying to snag some CS with the Q. Able to do that. No extra opening given up for Huhi to make a huge play there. He still has Flash. Plenty of summoners available on bottom side for both sides here to try and create something in preparation for the Dragon. Already 8 minutes in, but we still haven't seen big move from the LeBlanc from mid lane from Abbedagge. If you can get, closer, go gank, or even just pressure the minion wave there, help him push out, that would be so big for 100 Thieves, who have very often been super bottom lane focused, and in this game with this champ select have got to be. With Someday on the Ornn on top side, they need to unlock this LeBlanc with Lee Sin and go make plays off of level 6 Varus here. FBI already doing so much work in the 2v2 there with Huhi, so they're doing their part in trying to set up an opportunity. And the goals, the arrows, they're all pointing down towards that side of the map for 100 Thieves.
Games remained fairly flat, though, still about 300 to 400 gold apart. That hasn't moved much over the last several minutes. As Closer sneaks in with Abbedagge and wants to find him on the way back over. Not seen yet. Now on the ward, or sorry, on the wave. Q, are they going to get the chains? Here we go. Abbedagge walks up. He can bring in Lee Sin with them. Gets the dash out, gets the chain. This could be a kill. W in, but the flash. If Jensen didn't flash, I think he was always dead to the Lee Sin combo. A good setup by Abbedagge, but good by Jensen to realize what was going on.
Yep, as soon as he sees Lee Sin, then he has to flash. If it's just Abbedagge, just the LeBlanc, he can just tank it there under tower, but top side...
This is a 2 versus 3. They're going to find the first stun onto Alfari. The second charge, nice sidestep to get away, but be careful. If Closer finds himself a ward hop kick flash, that is probably Renekton. Cannot find it, does not go for the big play, just the dash out.
And that play is in preparation for the Herald. That's why they go for this here, Freak. Big chunk out onto Alfari, now 50% health for the Renekton. Move him out of the river, full priority gain by 100 Thieves. They have the reset up to top side, but so do Team Liquid, and teleports are being used. Alfari's got his teleport too, but the channel's going to take a while, and I think that Rift Herald will die before he gets to use it.
Is smiteable, but how about the rest of the fight? Someone's got to grab the eye. There's a lantern up. Yeah. Really clean exit now, and Alfari's teleport will not get almost anything done. There's no way this fight works.
The timing windows here and why you go for these aggressive setup plays before committing on this Rift Herald, it's all earned there. You know, with the extra time for Alfari having to recall, teleport channel coming in, Rift Herald is already DPS down. FBI remains the richest person in the game off their bottom lane success, and since Team Liquid tried to answer, bringing their bottom lane up, Tactical Core JJ did not get to shove those extra minion waves on bottom side into the turret. They did not get that extra golden experience in payment for this Rift Herald. And it is a heist pulled off by 100 Thieves where Team Liquid have been focusing on top side, and yet they steal away one of the crux of top lane focus, which is the objective of early first Rift Herald, one of the biggest rewards on that side of the map. Someday, got to get out of there.
Yeah, saw the edge of a model, knew he was probably in danger, still stunned, still knocked up, nowhere to go, charmed, flashes finally the kill comes across, barely they will leave the top laner alive as they kill Someday, and that is a wave being lost as Tactical goes to collect some turret plates.
Weak side play, Freak.
Yep.
Fishing around, trying to get some vision through the jungle, and yet while he's going on the vision mission, runs into the entire rest of the team. Kill secured there for Team Liquid, though ideal scenario, yeah, they would have liked to combine it with the Rift Herald, then you get super big payment. Seems like they still will be, chipping away at this top tower. Tactical gets it down to 2 plates remaining there. With the Rift Herald, though, on the other side, it means that 100 Thieves will be able to get the Dragon, as well as chunking this one down. Pop the Rift Herald. Guess what? First turret has been bought and paid for by the top play that they pulled off a minute ago.
So a good rule of thumb for anyone playing at home, generally as you kill the second plate, just summon it there and you'll kill the third. Herald will always kill the last 2 for you. And there we go, a bit of damage coming across, a big stun, the kickback, and execution. And Armeo is down. Next one up, though, going to be a defensive stun out of Alfari. Not quite in turret range, though. Closer won't take any more damage. They can shepherd in the Herald. This should allow a charge. And again, these tier 2 turrets are worth... Nope, they can't get all the way in. They fall back. No extra damage, no potential gold earned.
And I want to further emphasize why we really want 100 Thieves to keep playing off this bottom side of the map, because you're so heavily rewarded. You get the first turret down here, with the Rift Herald. You also push them off. Picking off an extra kill is icing on the cake, but it means that Someday's Ornn got to push up this minion wave, and look at that. He's only a few CS behind Alfari now after so much top lane pressure. By virtue of pushing on the bottom side on your strong side play, you get the rewards there, and it opens up Someday to be able to just recoup on the top side. Very good layering of CC here, Freak. Huhi, Death Sentence, into the Flay, into the Varus ultimate, into the kick from Closer. Well executed by the 100 Thieves bottom side of the map. And this is what you want to see from the top teams in the league. Both of them playing off different sides, and 100 Thieves now pulling back ahead with their bottom focus.
So we can take a stock of what's happened on the map right now. 100 Thieves, of course, better with neutral objectives. They got not only the first Dragon, but the first Herald, which has been cashed in. Bot lane, 20 CS lead, and the turret, and all 5 plates. Top side for TL, 20 CS lead and 3 turret plates, and that keeps going on as well. But the big difference that hasn't been interacted with that much is how well Jensen is doing in mid right now. It feels like every year we ask, is this the year where you're the best mid laner in the LCS? And every single time someone shows up to take that crown, but right now he is heads and shoulders above Abbedagge in the mid lane.
Yep, pushing on the CS there for Lucian, doing wonders. Abbedagge looking for LeBlanc roam plays. hasn't really found a huge one. Does have teleport ready here, and Closer finishing up on this blue invade does get chased out as it is a full reset from Team Liquid here, and that's just good communication on the side of 100 Thieves. Hey, Alfari is out of bottom side. You know, we don't have eyes on the Renekton. He's probably roaming back up here, so don't risk anything extra. We saw yesterday Closer risking on invades when his teammates were not there. The lane's not pushing up, and it did cost 100 Thieves heavily, so they're trying to play more defensively here, being huddled up behind their tower on top side, and they won't lose anyone this time around, allowing someday, again, free time here for the Ornn. Guess what? You don't have to play to that Ornn to get him back in the game. You play away from him, and he gets uncontested minion waves up to the tower.
Top lane cleared back and forth. Ornn running back to mid now after shoving in the bottom lane as Diana is nearby, but Renekton's going to grab the actual golden XP out of that one. Mythic's coming in for several champions. 3 down 100 Thieves. We've got 4, though, for Team Liquid, as again, huge lead for Jensen over Abbedagge in the mid lane, near about 30 CS, 36 I believe is the count. Top lane turret will fall money in Tactical and CoreJJ's pockets.
And as we start rotating around the map too, 100 Thieves funneling a lot of extra money into FBI. Now, FBI and Huhi earned their advantage in bottom lane, straight up 2v2, you know, getting the kill with their own extra CS lead too. Going to be interesting to see if they transition into a 4-1, because this is a pretty strong 4-1 here. If you have LeBlanc very mobile, now level 11 for Abbedagge. Once he gets his rank 2 in his ultimate and completes Mythic here for possibly the Luden's Echo would be my hope. There we go. That's your best burst damage, your Sword Shoes, and your Luden's Echo level 11. This is the power spike where you start fishing around in side lanes in brush, looking to try and pop people, at least gain health chunk leads or flashes, if not full outright kills.
Alrighty, money in, as we can see. Yep, FBI, then Alfari and Jensen. Closer actually second place in the team. The Herald charge towards bot, of course, being part of that one for sure. Got a big chunk of gold for finishing the first turret down there, so not a huge surprise. And the 2 kills obviously adding up, but it means that there's only really a bunch of gold on one champ who scales that hard with the Varus, as now second Herald's being attacked by Team Liquid.
And really, it's what gold, as the play does miss, but the hook.
Big damage onto Renekton, holding the front line, boxes down. Ornn comes across, gonna find a stun, but not the kill into Armeo as he jumps right back. But decent poke damage out of Varus. Means TL getting a bit low, but the smite should be clean, and they're gonna grab it. Armeo's gonna grab the Herald. Now Sony's gotta be careful, gets charmed, rooted, and just killed in front of the team. Is the rest of the team fight gonna be any good as Armeo finds Abbedagge, gets chained up, nearly gonna die. One more auto will kill him. Hit him, one more auto, finally gets it. The chain, the feathers, nearly finds it again. FBI on the way out. Looks like it's just a 1-for-1 top for jungle, but FBI snipes from across the stream. This training's been good. And a 3rd kill follows in as well. Just like that, 100 Thieves win the battle.
All right, the 3 consecutive plays that made me seesaw effect there, Freak. Yeah. First one, Armeo goes in for the flash Diana play onto just the solo LeBlanc, and then gets a huge amount of return damage. Very scary area for him. We'll go over it here. Here's the very beginning of it, though. Alfari chasing off Closer does mean they collapse on the Renekton. Don't get your flay, but do get your death sentence hook, allowing some early health lead and chunking down the front line. He flashes away from the ult, but Armeo gets hit by it. A little bit of chunk there, but the real big one starts to come in the aftermath. Someday, very deep on the front line here versus Team Liquid, gets focused down, chunked out. And then it's the kind of the return. Rakan goes in while Armeo goes for a solo Diana ultimate on just Abbedagge. You see he almost gets just immediately solo killed, but he runs into the brush trying to get out of vision. Tactical saves it for Team Liquid there, trying to flash through it with a big blade caller, but then it's saved the other way by FBI. That is insane, massive damage there with the execution. Tap your W's, my friends, and get the execution for the FBI. Q comes through for the snipe.
I'll be honest, I'm sad to see Tactical not get the kill because the flash blade caller was so really good.
It was.
But Abbedagge was fast enough to be like, oh, and just hits W and gets back and distortions away, because that was definitely him dead if he did not see that one in time. So smart play answered by smart play, and it means 100 Thieves have an 1,800 gold lead. Mid and bot getting so much done despite a gold deficit on the LeBlanc side. Abbedagge basically solo killed Armeo. So really, really nicely done right here, and it's already 2 dragons on the way towards a Cloud Soul.
All right, reset there for 100 Thieves, very easy. Now we're gonna get a little peek of that LeBlanc side lane. even with Renekton having the point-and-click stun, still goes in for a very nice big chunk. Should be cautious here, though. Again, good toggle from the observers. There's no vision. He's got his distortion down, so you know, yes, I'm checking this brush, but nobody in there can instant kill me, so you can always take your distortion back.
And now the bot lane is under attack. Abbedagge knows better than to even go for CS as Herald is summoned. He's like, this turret is always dead. I have to drop 112 gold and just let it go. That's okay. Take a note from Elsa. We'll try again later.
You know, I haven't even seen that movie, and that started playing in my mind as soon as you said, let it go.
I think I've seen it twice.
You've seen it once then? Once for me and once for you.
Yeah, we're sharing it, you know, it's fine.
Speaking of trades, those outer towers will be traded. Again, some days had the best time when the team is making strong side play for Team Liquid on the opposite side of the map, and he gets left alone with minions or left alone with structures, still able to, you know, beef up a bit on the Ornn, level 12 here, so looking to approach the area where you can start upgrading for teammates and really start to deliver that value.
So you can always ult. You can always ult despite the root. Cast it at the right time. And it's ult for ult from Someday, but he's got better ability haste, so that can be back up. I mean, in plenty of time for the Cloud Drake for sure. Same is true for Tactical, so it's not going to be a huge loss, but still worth noting. Alphari spotted on the flank. Someday going to mark him pretty heavily. Finds the knock-up, but not a lot of follow-through. Still going to hold the mid line for the rest of it. Someday really unperturbed here. Corjade forced backwards. Tactical at 2/3, now half.
Yeah.
But FBI is completely out of mana. We'll have to recall soon.
Yeah, exactly. No mana left here, so no more DPS output for him. Bottom side is pushed all the way in, though, by Abbedagge. So just trading off the minion waves. You mentioned the 2-minute timer for Dragon, so no big repercussions for any of these extended trades of small cooldowns. As long as nobody flashes, everybody's still prepping for the big one here. Soul Point is going to approach for 100 Thieves. You want to see them get the early reset. Already they're filling back up on those control wards, and they have plenty of time to transition back to the other side of the map. Closer dropping his one here. Could easily get off another reset first.
Now they're fighting over ward control, though. We saw, of course, those 2 deep wards by Corjade. Noted the defensive control ward there as well. Right now, can't be swept out by 100 Thieves. Always a little bit tougher when you only have one sweeper. You are playing Lee Sin jungle. Normally, junglers run sweeper. We can see Armeo has one, but it makes Huhi's job that much harder.
Not plays, though.
Of course, and I'm not saying it's the wrong choice in any way. Just, well, it means the wards are up way more often because Diana can just, like, sweep when clearing 3 camps, and it's like, I found the deep wards. Cool, plus vision score. We did it. And, you know, Closer would just ward nothing, and that would be inferior.
You just wait for that ward hop that changes the game into the backside. Yeah. He picks off Armeo, Diana Doug. I can see it. Naming lights.
Huge.
No deaths for him or any of the members not named Someday on the team so far either.
Cooldown difference. Tactical had to cleanse, knowing, okay, I can't ult if there's follow-through, so that is now a meaningful cooldown gone for the Dragon. Now, that said, Varus ulti is also going to be down for a few seconds. And when that comes up, so depending on how fastly or quickly they play for the drag, that may be an issue.
And they do have the teleport from Someday too. So here's the deeper wards for 100 Thieves. You know, sweeping going down. The bush play from LeBlanc looking for the health chunks ahead of the objective. Should result in Tactical getting a big one there.
And that is mid-turret, and that is going to be Dragon as well, almost certainly. Intelligent by Tactical to expect the flank. The blue trinket was at the right time. And Abbedagge still jumps over, mimics the Q, and chunks the boy out thanks to FBI's help, but still playing in Fog of War, right? Still playing in this jungle that they own a little bit of. And without an AD carry, you know TL's not going to contest. So a nice play, combo from mid and bot, chunks out the AD carry, guarantees no Dragon contest. Soul Point for 100 Thieves.
Not a lot of people mention LeBlanc when they mention poke champions because you're generally talking long-range skill shot poke. But just because LeBlanc's poke is more dangerous for her to do because it requires commitment of the body, as long as you are aware of the positioning of Rakan and Renekton, the two that can stop you and can punish you for poking, going in for distortions by, you know, flash stunning or getting the ult W off from the Rakan, then you do have very similar devastating play patterns there as far as softening people up for Tactical to fire off the execution damage here through with his Qs, and he's been so accurate with this freak. It's not just a one-off game where, wow, Tactical, he's really landing a lot of the shots here. FBI, excuse me, on the Varus this time around has been sniping so well. The execution there set up very nicely by the LeBlanc play pattern.
All right, next up, We know there's a threat of Cloud Soul in just 4 minutes. That is absolutely available to be acquired. And TA will have to find their way into the battles. Double Marksman, obviously they can have pretty good damage, but the front line is just better on 100 Thieves. It is an Aftershock Thresh. It is an Ornn. That's not easy to get through. So if the positioning is good, 100 Thieves probably will not be stopped. Looking for CoreJJ to find that flank. Tactical to get the big play. Obviously, Xayah can have really, really good consistent damage output, but the problem is she's behind in items. We're already 2.5 items in for FBI, and still no Essence Reaver yet for Tactical.
And I'm curious to see, because the Sereldia's Rush build for Lucian is super popular right now. A lot for the slow and you know what it does for your culling, regardless of if there are big tanks on the opponent team. But it also works so nicely when you do have to throw a lot of damage into something like frontline Ornn here that's so heavily invested into armor. I want to get a little DPS check on Jensen versus the raid boss here, see how much the culling or the tickling can actually do.
It's probably not too bad, to be honest. I think it'll actually be of decent value, but 100 Thieves is not stopped, by the way. Top lane tier 2 already gone. Top lane tier 3, yes, Inhibitor going to be left bare, but TL are here. TL have a flank. This could be the battle. Flashes and rocket belts away, but CoreJJ comes in. Charms 3. Is this the fight? Renekton's in the backline. This could be an absolute slaughter, but it's already Armeo dead. The Jensen getting away, stays alive, but no. It is going to be 2-3 kills now to 100 Thieves as Abbedagge comes through for his second, and it's CoreJJ and Alphari left alive, looking at the shambles of their own base.
Looked like he did survive for quite a while on that DPS check for the 100 Thieves. The initiation there, using the ultimate, comes through so big for them. Baron is going to be an afterthought. No chance at Team Liquid having anything to say about it. And 100 Thieves, not only are they on Soul Point, 2 minutes here left on the Soul Dragon Arrival Freak, but they're going to have plenty of time to push with Baron prior to its arrival. So you get to take down secondary turrets leading up to it and leave behind so much vision. Here's a look at the turn attempt from Team Liquid. They don't get either carry in the Diana ultimate there. Because Armeo just had to use his Rocket Belt plus Flash to disengage, he actually only gets the frontline members there in the engage for Team Liquid, and the backline for 100 Thieves free to fire. Very good positioning there from the Varus as well as LeBlanc. Abbedagge and FBI are able to melt the front line there. Meanwhile, not so lucky on the side for Team Liquid. They can't get through the beefier stats there, and they lose out on the timing window.
And that was the closest fight they were going to get. Yeah. Right? The gold got so much worse going +2 kills in a Baron. Abbedagge spots him.
Surprise. Yeah, it doesn't want to go back into that one too quick. Able to easily check it. I will say, too, if Armeo had been able to disengage with just the Rocket Belt and had the Flash for the actual turn on the engage, it would have been so big for them, because if that Diana ult gets to be repositioned a little bit further back, it was, you know, not too far for FBI. If he's able to flash and then get FBI plus, you know, Abbedagge was there as well on the LeBlanc into that grouping, might be a different story, but 100 Thieves don't have to live in that world. So neither do we, Freak. Baron buff means they get to take these secondary towers that we're talking about down and establish their vision control, setting themselves up for a bigger gold lead prior to the Dragon fight, plus the better setup prior to that fight.
How much risk do they feel there is right now? Because, you know, Dragon's in 20 seconds. You could just turn around, sit in the jungle, and grab Soul, no problem. But I feel like they don't want to, you know, lose any of this Red Bull Baron power play. And right now they are going to continue the siege.
And the main thing they have to mark is the Rakan as well as Renekton there. You constantly see the attempts at the flank coming through. Nice little chunk there as far as the harassment. Abbedagge gets himself out once again. Houdini looks great until Houdini gets point and click stunned and actually locked up and then goes down. Does have a stopwatch for himself there, though, so a little bit more safety on some of these attempts.
But yeah, just a solid punch to the gut could be lethal, so has to respect that one. And here we go. Dragon going to be attacked, no problem at all. Still 35 seconds on the buff. And as they've knocked down tier 2 turrets in every single lane, they go ahead and grab Soul. Bunch of move speed, that'll feel good. Easy to get yourself into the fights, no problem. Bot lane turret down to about half HP. FBI played it a little bit slow. Has the lantern, sees the culling, says, okay, time to get away. And yeah, culling not built as a tank killing option, really. To be clear, also his build is a bit more attack focused as he went for the Gale Force. So that's, you know, some power not going into the ulti, of course, as well. But this is going to be turret going down. The Baron buff times out, but the turrets were claimed. Dragon Soul and a 3,000 gold lead is the end result of that Baron buff. Feeling very good for 100 Thieves right now.
Yeah, they're right back on track, Freak, picking up where they left off. Inside the base now should be a pretty quick transition. You just finish up on this bottom. Okay. Yeah. And remember, still has his Zonias, so Team Liquid, they don't want to commit too much to it. Good defensive maneuvers there from the Deceiver.
Down a full item. Yeah, Deathcap isn't tank stats, but end of the day, able to jump back. Zonia's helping, and all right, Alfari forced to jump now out as well. Lantern's still up in case there's something too aggressive. FBI dodges them with that. Mid turret nearly dead. Chain's gonna be good damage though. Yeah, there's not much MR on the Renekton. Huge damage now on Illusion as well. They're chunked at a mid. Bot inhibitor almost gone. Mid turret dead.
Yeah, Renekton only threatens LeBlanc when you do have flash. If there's no flash there, look at him. Abbedagge is just pelting away damage at both the Renekton and the Lucian. Able to open up mid. Bottom's already taken care of business. They actually don't finish off the last couple hits on it though. You know, going for the reset instead. They do have plenty of money to spend. You just continue to take away both buffs at the same time. Someday we'll do red while Abbedagge finishes up the blue. 100 Thieves.
Let him have a closer.
Nothing left.
Wow, disgusting. He did all that work and you just took the last hit. Disgusting.
He's always been a team player.
Yeah, I know, but come on, man. He got camped the entire game, still team fights really well, so you just take his red.
At the end of the match, you give him tilt proof or you give him great teammate and, you know, pat on the back, job well done.
I want a red buff Kobe. I would rather have a red buff than Honor in every single game.
You know what? I'd rather have the Honor because the red buff is only during the in-game. That's just temporary gratification versus permanent accolades, Freak.
But see, if I have a red buff, I can carry harder. I can win the game.
All right, I'm going to live in this world where Freak is carrying.
Yeah, it's my reality in my head, okay? I've got to, you know.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, in the multiverse, there's one where I'm actually good. You know, we don't know where that one is. And by the way, Armeo, he's gold, and he's going to become gold. No, he's not. He's going to get away.
A little early there.
Yeah.
Go check out, by the way, for a quick plug, Azale did a stopwatch-specific, you know, mechanics guide on the little swirly fireflies that collapse towards the stopwatch member to perfectly time your abilities upon exit there.
Here we go. Big play, big charm, big knockup. Guardian Angel down on FBI. This man is probably just going to be dead afterwards. Flashes back to safety, stays alive. Orton engages for a fight right next to the front line, has to dash back as well. Huge knockup in for Someday. Flashed into follow. Tactical just barely stays alive, and he's going to do just so. Huhi in the front line now as well. Someday burning, and he's going to drop. 1-for-1 team fight so far. Jensen running away, but the chase through is there. Lee Sin sets it up, and LeBlanc knocks everybody down. Most of the bot lane is dead, and now Tactical is left alive with a bit of a base left for him, as the Feathers will not do much of anything. Two get to watch as the towers fall as well. 4v2 to push down the rest of the game. 10 turrets scored 100 Thieves, looking for number 11, and the Nexus to follow. Closer not going to be chased. There's the hook, there's the double flay, there's the kill, and the final Bud Light Ace. It's 100 Thieves riding the ship, taking down Team Liquid.
Rumors of the 100 Thieves demise have been greatly exaggerated, Freak. Yes, they did drop 3 of the last 4 games, but Abbedagge called it. He said, we're back. He didn't have to say too many words. He performed on stage. 100 Thieves really well controlled this one versus Team Liquid. Someday gets his honor now. Yeah, he didn't have his red buff. Didn't care, Freak. He's able to get all the tilt proofs, and he's able to get the victory here.
FBI finds his nose. There you go, buddy. Proper mask etiquette. Thank you. Well done, 100 Thieves. Well-deserved win. Some good jungle ganks there as well. I think Felix waved to me. Thank you, Abbedagge. That's always nice. I talk more loudly when they're bowing and, you know, try to get some recognition from my better.
And you're like, oh, look at me.
Look at me. I still feel like a fan is a thing, though, right? Yeah. Like, I still have that same joyous, like, oh, it's the pros. I've seen them on the air so many times.
We are the only 2 fans in this studio. There's nowhere else.
Sort of true.
There's nowhere else for them to look, and we're like, hi!
Look at us! Like we're literally lights on us. Like we're actually easy to see. We got there in the end. Good job, 100 Thieves. Well-deserved victory. Definitely played it really nicely. Thumbs up from me, thumbs up from Kobe. I'm giving it 2, actually. I'm actually more positive on that one than you are. On the other side, though, we are joining the State Farm analyst desk. But as we go, get a blast from our old LoL esports past and check out the sneak peek of tomorrow's episode of Next Level.
Was WE the team that had Messiah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was. I think he was one of the first League players that ever like had a play named after him. Because
Messiah?
yeah, Messiah. Do you know that one?
No, I don't.
This might have been before your time, but
It for sure was. I don't recognize
this was
it at
early
all.
League. It was so mind-blowing. What you would do is you would ult in his TF and it instantly zone you.
Zanya? Oh,
Yeah.
so you like cancel the ulti, right?
No, it's a
it was
bait,
just
basically.
like everybody would be aiming their abilities to where
Yeah,
TF's
yeah.
gonna land, and most TFs would like land and try to throw a gold card.
Yeah, yeah.
But Messiah would just zone you right away, and it was just so
Oh,
mind-blowing at the
okay.
time.
Yeah, so basically, like, you bait out everyone's ult, and they're all going in, and then the TF comes out of Zonia's, and then your entire team
That was
just
mind-blowing
kills
at the time?
people.
At the time?
Yeah,
Yeah,
these
just
are
like the
like
insect
next
was
level
mind-blowing.
season 3 mechanics right here.
Yeah, this was unheard of.
Yeah, everything I drive brand new. Yeah, everything inside brand new. Be careful with my ride is brand new. Everything outside brand new. Yo, we ready, pull up, it's over. Y'all know what's up when we roll up. Y'all know what's up when we roll up. We ready, pull up, it's over.
I don't blow in the dark. I make people decide if they see me or not. If they see me or not. I don't glow in the dark. I make people decide. Taking shots in the dark. You gon' slip and slide. Don't play it safe, I don't hesitate. Don't hold me back, I'ma handle it. This ain't a match, we so different. I run the slow, you just kicking it. Most of the shots that you shoot and you miss. All the shots I be getting the end. Look at me now and look at my grip. Look at me now and look at my grip. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. I will the vibe that don't last. I don't ever turn to plastic. I'm on a mission with passion. Gonna driving me on bad. I'm sick when you ass slick. Rick with the whip, Fendi fashion. Bitch, don't pretend when I'm lashing. Cause I never lit in the past tense. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. I don't blow in the dark. I make people decide if they see me or not. If they see me or not. I don't blow in the dark. I make people decide. Taking shots in the dark. You gon' slip, I'ma slide. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me.
Welcome back to the State Farm Analyst Desk, where it's 100 Thieves who came out on top over Team Liquid in this battle of top teams. But I kind of want to jump back into the conversation we were in the midst of having in prefacing this game around two of our top teams and the level that ultimately they can reach as we look towards the postseason and contending for an LCS title.
Yeah, so I mean, as the person who was wrong, Kaizen, how are you feeling?
Oh, hello? Wrong about what exactly, Zell?
Team Liquid looking good.
No, I said they're going to look good in 3 weeks.
Okay.
And in my defense, there was a reasonable early game, right? We saw Jensen get a huge lead on the Lucian in the LeBlanc matchup, which is what you would expect, but still well executed by him. We saw Alphari do what you would expect in the Renekton Ornn matchup, get a good early game lead. And then we saw TL look for plays top lane and punish on weak side, the one who was behind. What happened was that the bot lane for 100 Thieves smurfed, right? And, you know, we talked earlier about, is TL going to be one of the top teams? I still think they're going to be. Do I think they're going to be better than 100 Thieves? Maybe not, because 100 Thieves is maybe the best team in the league. So I wasn't wrong. I was misunderstood.
It's as expected. TL just can't get off the ground if they're not stomping lanes, if they're not punishing mistakes that the enemies are making. That is why they only beat on bottom teams. 100 Thieves is not giving opportunities, and neither are any of the top teams. So Team Liquid is just really showing that they can't generate advantages as a team from an even footing. They need to generate advantages from the laning phase, beating up kindergartners, not literally, but people that are like
Hold on.
Oh, it was preschoolers earlier. Now we're beating up kindergartners. How high are we going?
Crumbs, are you willing to make a wager with me right here
about
TL beating one of the top teams, and we can discuss what the top team means by the end of the split?
in regular season.
So in
Regular season,
in
yeah.
the remaining
Because you're saying they
final
can't.
round robin, so 100 Thieves already behind them, but that means they can look at teams like TSM, Cloud9, Evil Geniuses. We putting those four up at the top?
Sure,
'Cause that would have been
yeah,
top. That would have been top 5.
they
So
won't
of those 3 teams,
You
you're
don't think
saying
they'll
they
win a
won't.
single best of one?
They won't take a best
we
of
get
one.
to choose which one, right? He has to go into the match.
No. It's your. I believe it's against any
yeah.
all top teams.
Yeah,
right?
of their what? They
Yeah.
have 7 games remaining.
I like this.
Yeah,
I like
they have to beat one top team.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah, they won't.
What are we betting?
They won't.
What are we betting?
We'll figure it out.
No, we gotta figure it out
Someone
now.
you have to eat something nasty. I get to pick what you eat, and you get to pick what I eat.
Please no.
They made me do, what was it, Marmite the other day on Bud Light League Lounge?
I'll have to have the
Gross.
confidence to know that I'm winning this. Yes, whatever.
Okay.
You know
I
what?
like it.
Dash, let's shake on. We already won this bet.
Yeah, we get to watch something stupid.
Great job.
Good job, sir. Very excited about it. On the side of 100 Thieves, let's talk about that, because it was a bit of an uptick in performance. We talk about the bot lane, so where are we on that?
As a person who was right, I'll go first on this point, Zero. As I was saying, 100 Thieves, when they're playing their style, when they're not as experimental, they look great. And that's exactly what happened. They just drafted LeBlanc mid, Ornn top, which is a little bit new, but not something crazy that we haven't seen before. And then a nice standard bot lane for FBI to be able to do what he does, which is carry. So I think 100 Thieves is, when they're in their comfort zone, they look totally fine.
All right, a bit of a restoration for 100 Thieves as they take down Team Liquid, but all eyes on every future Team Liquid game against a top team to see which one
Terrible
of these two
bet from Crumb.
is going to have.
It really was. I rarely put myself
The BO1 bet is always a dangerous bet. We're going to a break. When we come back, we're prefacing that TSM versus Immortal matchup right here. Catch you soon.
Crumbs, what would you like to
I need to
eat?
get more from you. If
We already should, man.
It's never been easier to stay in touch, so we never miss the chance to show how much we care. And thanks to all of you who used your MasterCard to order online or tap in store at restaurants and grocery stores, MasterCard is donating $5 million to Stand Up to Cancer. Together is how we help start something priceless.